Welcome to today's Supervisory Skills and Management Development Information Session. We're so happy you have joined us here today to learn more about our leadership programs. My name is Jennifer Keller, and I will be introducing myself in a little bit more detail in a minute, as well as a colleague that I have with me. But first, I wanted to show you this quote that came from the Occupational Outlook Handbook. Capable managers are essential in nearly all industries. So whatever industry you may be coming from, managers are essential. And you can see the projected job growth for these in leadership positions. And then the median annual salary in 2014 was $97,230, the highest among all major occupational groups. I show this information to stress the importance and the value of being capable managers and leaders. And I'm assuming that those of you on this webinar are here because that is who you want to be. A capable leader to drive and motivate teams and drive your organization forward into the future. So we are excited to share with you about our programs so you can learn a little bit more about who we are. With that, my name's Jennifer Keller. I'm the Associate Director of Management and Leadership Programs here with UC Davis Extension. My colleague Kenzie is a public education specialist. She is not with us today, but I do have the fortune of also having another one of our staff, Bridget Zaragoza, with us.
Hello, everyone.
And Bridget will be sharing some information along the way as well as helping, and either one of us can answer any questions, as well as Kenzie's information is there as well should you have questions along the way. So with that, let's get started. So today we're going to talk about the different programs that we have. We have specialized leadership skills programs that we're going to give you a preview of, our supervisory skills series, and our management development program. We're going to talk about the differences between these different programs so that you, by the end of this session, can identify which program would be the best fit for you. And please feel free to ask questions along the way in the Q&A box. Bridget will be answering those, and then we will answer them as a group as well. And Bridget, do you want to tell them about this?
Yes, so as our thank you for attending this today's info session, you'll receive a discount code for $100 off any of our full leadership programs discussed today. So if you stay with us at the very end of this info session, there will be an eval, and after you complete that eval, it'll give you the code to be able to use your $100 off coupon.
Who couldn't use a coupon? Everybody likes coupons.
Exactly.
All right, so that's great news. Well, we're going to start with a poll question. So our first poll, and Bridget's going to launch this for you. If you could answer, how many years of supervision or management experience do you have? You can see if you can 1 to 3 years, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, or over 10. And the results are coming in. We've got quite a mix on the call. That is great. We're going to just give it another couple seconds for those of you who haven't voted. All right. And can we share those results, Bridget? Awesome. So it looks like we've got 38% of you with 1 to 3, and then quite a mix among the others. So that's great. That helps us know kind of where everybody's coming from and where you're at. All right, well, let's get talking about these programs, which is why you're here. So first, I want to tell you about our specialized skills program, Leading Through Emotional Intelligence and Coaching. This is coming up in just a couple weeks, and there still is space available. It's August 14th, 21st, and 28th. So it's 3 consecutive days, so spaced a week apart. This class, I actually had the privilege of taking as a participant last year, and it is amazing. First, you go through the emotional intelligence portion, which is based on the 6 seconds model, and you have an assessment called the SEI, which measures your own kind of level of emotional intelligence. And you go through, what does that mean, and how can you become more aware and manage your emotions? And then it goes into coaching and a coaching model of then taking that and how do you coach your employees. So looking at a few of the objectives for that, you would learn the 6 seconds emotional intelligence model, what causes you to be hijacked, it's emotionally hijacked, and the impact of stress on your communication. I think we can probably all agree that we have a little bit of stress in our lives, and sometimes we're not always aware of how that impacts our communication. Bridget knows when I'm stressed, my communication can be very direct. And so being aware of that helps me to be a better leader and know when I'm stressed, I need to maybe take it down a notch. And the second objective is looking at a coaching mindset and how do you use a coach approach to develop others in your organization. And then how coaching is different than other skills you use as a leader, and when should you use coaching versus something like performance management or mentoring, which is different than coaching. So that we talk through, Dawn talks through that, and you'll practice skills such as listening and asking powerful questions. For me, that was the biggest eye-opener, those powerful questions. I think I thought I was using a coaching approach and then learned that I really wasn't. I was being directive, and there really is power in asking questions. So this class is pretty amazing. You can register for it now on our website. There, like I said, there's still a little bit of space left in that, and it has an assessment, and Dawn Carter is a certified executive coach and leader. She is an amazing instructor. So think about that as you're thinking through these programs. That one's coming up in just a couple weeks. So let's now transition into talking about the programs. And Bridget's just going to give you a brief overview, and then we're going to get into detail.
So our Supervisory Skills Series 1 starts in fall from September 18th through October 16th. We have 2 sessions. You can either choose our morning session, which is from 8:30 a.m. to 12:30, or our afternoon session, which is from 1 to 5. And our management development program, fall begins, it's October 23rd, the 30th, and November 6th. And that is a full day program from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Awesome. And these programs are offered in our Sacramento, Midtown Sacramento facility, the Galleria, so you don't have to travel to Davis for them. And we're going to just dig a little deeper into each of these so you can kind of find out which might be the best fit for you. So we're going to start with the supervisory skills. So this is a program that is comprised of 5 topics. You can take individual topics that I'm going to highlight, or you can take the entire series as a program. So if maybe you just want to increase your communication skills, you can take that topic. That is our first course in the series. Then we go into building a motivated workplace, followed by delegating for results. This is one of our more popular ones. I think as leaders, we all struggle with delegation. As one of my colleagues said, you just kind of end up taking the work with you as you get promoted throughout the organization, and it's harder and harder to let go. And then working through conflict, I think we can all agree that this is an area we can improve in. And then finally, the principles of supervision and management, where we really get into performance management and discussing those types of challenges. So that's an overview, and now we're going to dive deeper into each of the courses and instructors. So first we have communication skills at work with Jeannie Hagan Green. You can read the objectives of this course, or highlights, I should say, of this course. What I do want to say is it does include an assessment on what's my communication style. There's 4 different kinds of styles highlighted in this assessment: spirited, direct, considerate, and I'm always forgetting the 4th one. So there are 4, and you can find out what style you fall into as far as communication, and how do you work with others with different styles. Jeannie Hagan Green has been one of our more popular instructors and been with us so many years, and she's just fantastic. Second class is Building a Motivated Workplace. This is with Gabe Lewell. And Gabe is a newer instructor with us and has just really brought some great, powerful content. So this is really about how do you increase motivation and what decreases motivation in your employees, and really kind of come away with some key tools and tips to increase and build a positive workplace. So that's the second course. The third one, I already talked a little bit about Dawn Carner, and so she teaches the 3-day specialized skill. She also teaches the delegating for results in our supervisory skills. We talked about how important this can be. She gets into some real practical ways that you can delegate tasks and then proper follow-up and monitoring. And she actually has you come in with some ideas of what it is that you're struggling to delegate and kind of get to the root of potentially why aren't you delegating that. And then we get to working through conflict with Dalvinder. And Dalvinder uses a model to navigate through interpersonal. So he walks you through 5 conflict styles, how you might be able to use those in the workplace, a model for how to work through conflict, and then how can you develop some team norms. And he talks about healthy conflict. I think it's important that teams do feel comfortable expressing different opinions and having conflict in a positive way. So he walks through that. And then we conclude with Diane Davidson in Principles of Supervision and Management. She talks about that important transition from individual contributor to supervisor, talking about setting expectations. That's what I mentioned in the overview about performance management. How do you set and communicate expectations, and then how do you hold people accountable to that? Diane is an amazing instructor. She is actually a professional performer as well. She travels the world singing. So she has quite a presence and background. So we're really happy that she is part of our program. So Bridget's just going to give you an overview of the cost and highlight the spring series.
So the cost for taking the either series, if you would like to take it per class, it's $295 per class. If you would like to take the entire program, it's $1,325. And if you, when you enroll in the series, of course, you save $150 by taking the whole series. And we have, of course, a session 1 that starts in fall from September 18th through October 16th. And our series 2 for the spring, we do not have the dates yet, but that is in April. And it also lists the topics there as well.
Great. Thank you, Bridget. And also you can see groups of 3 or more receive a 10% discount. So if you have some colleagues that you want to bring along with you, we have a lot of people that do that. That's our best discount. All right, we're going to pause and see if there's any questions that anyone has. Bridget, should they use the chat box or the Q&A box?
Either one is fine.
Okay. So Bridget's going to open or see if there's anything coming through.
We do have one question.
Okay.
Could I take series 2 before series 1?
Great question. We get that one a lot. So series 2 that was offered last spring, some of you on the phone may have even already taken that, and that is okay. They don't have to be in order of series 1 comes first, series 2. So they can be taken in any order.
Okay. Next question, are these in class or online?
These are all in class. That's a great question. So all of them are in the classroom at the Midtown Sacramento location, which is 29th and K. It's our Sutter Square Galleria.
Okay. Will series 1 be offered in 2019?
Yes, it'll be fall 2019. So we always offer series 1 in the fall and then series 2 in the spring. So we alternate.
Is there an additional price break if you attend session 1 and 2?
No, the price break is the $1,325, that $150 for the entire program. And then if you, by attending this information session, you could get $100 off. So it'd be $1,225, or if you have the group of 10% or more, group of 3 for 10%.
Okay, next question. Does the $100 coupon apply to series? And what about the Cal Aggie alumni discount?
So yes, the $100 applies to the whole series. It does not apply to an individual class. So if you were just to take one class, it would be $295. As far as the Cal Aggie alumni discount, we will need to get back to you on that. I apologize. So we will get back to you on that one. So maybe take down the name, Bridget. Okay, great.
Next question, how many participants are in each session?
That is a great question. So it varies because we have some people that enroll in the entire series and as a cohort, and then we have individual people that come to just maybe 1 or 2 sessions. So we just launched last year the 2 sections. We used to only offer it in the morning, and it was so popular that we added the afternoon section. And so it used to be the morning session could be anywhere from 30 to 40 people in a class. But now that we've added the afternoon, it's been great. We've been able to have a little bit of smaller groups. So I know that's not a real concrete answer. I would say it's usually, between 20 and 30.
Okay, another question, are there any books you need to buy?
Great question. No, all of the materials are included in the price that you've seen. So I mentioned that there's an assessment for the communication skills. There was an assessment I mentioned for the leading with emotional intelligence and coaching. Those are included in the price of the program. Oh, these are great questions. I love it. Okay, I think we're good now, and we are going to continue on. We will have another time for questions at the end. So if any additional questions come up, please keep those, and we will answer those at the end. All right, so let's transition into talking about the management development program. Now, unlike the supervisory skills series, this is an entire program that must be taken as a whole. So you cannot register for these 3 individual courses. You can only register for the entire program as a cohort. So it's 3 weeks in a row. The first course is the manager's role. You've seen Gabe already, his picture from Supervisory Skills. He launches this program and talks about the changing role of a manager in the organization today. I think managers' jobs have changed as the workforce has changed, and we have multiple generations and technology, all of those things. So he talks a little bit about that. Talks about key performance indicators. What are key performance indicators, and how do you measure performance in your team? And then he gets into a little bit about what is your role in coaching, and how do you coach employees to better performance. Then we get into Kim Silvers. Kim is a owner of her own HR consulting firm in Sacramento. She's very well known and well connected. We are privileged to have her as part of the program. This is one of the few things that she has time to teach for us, so we're so grateful to have her. And she really gets into communication tools, and then a lot about effective feedback. The feedback I get on this class is that section on the feedback is phenomenal. She gives you a specific model to help you, and I think we could probably all agree this is an area that we could get better at. I know myself, giving feedback as well as receiving it. So she talks a little bit about that, and then she ends with talking about how can you lessen some of the legal risks that may come up when addressing poor performance. This program includes the DISC assessment. Some of you might be familiar with that, and if you're not, we're going to talk about it in a little more detail now. So as I talk about each of the components of the DISC model, I want you to think about what category, D, I, S, or C, you would fall into. And because at the end, Bridget's going to launch a poll, we're going to ask you what you think you would fall into. So be listening carefully. The DISC model really measures kind of outgoing versus reserved. So the top, the D and I, are more the outgoing personality types, or extroversion if you want to talk about that. The C and S, that axis, is more of the reserved, more the introversion. And then it measures on the vertical axis how measures task-oriented versus people-oriented. So the D and the C are more task-oriented, and the I and the S are more people-oriented. Now, how they approach that based on the introversion, extroversion is different. We're going to get into that. So let's talk about each of these. So those of you who may fall in a D, stands for dominance, you would place emphasis on results. So this is the task-oriented, and it's more outgoing. So you're more assertive, straight to the point. You could potentially be blunt. So this is the outgoing, task-oriented. So really want to get things done, get to the bottom line, make it happen. That's you if you're a D. If you're an I, you are the outgoing, people-oriented. So it stands for influence. You're really focused on influencing, persuading others, relationships. You like to collaborate. You're optimistic, enthusiastic. You don't like to be ignored. You're really focused on socializing and having fun. I might say my colleague Bridget falls into the I. What do you think, Bridget?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think Bridget's definitely an I. I love working with her because of that. She's very connected and loves to collaborate. So those are your I's. Then we have your S. Your S people are your steadiness. They're the people-oriented, but they're a little bit more reserved. And they enjoy really deep relationships. They're more calm, supportive, don't like to be rushed. This is actually where I fall. When I've taken this, I'm an S. So I'm the relationship, but probably not as friendly as Bridget. And then we have our C, which is conscientious. And this person is really task-focused, but unlike the D, they're a little more reserved. So really detail-oriented, quality, accuracy. They just want their independence, details. They don't want to be wrong, really focused on being correct. So let's take this as you're on the webinar now. Okay, let's see. If you're a D, here's you. Oh, we didn't want to launch that yet. Ignore the polling. I think you have to end it. Hold for a moment. There we go. All right, if you're the D, this is you. Give me the facts. Tell me the program. Tell me the cost, the time. I got a meeting. I hope this ends on time. You may have already disconnected if you're a D, because I didn't go fast enough. If you're an I, you want to know how much interaction you're going to have with other organizations. And you would have preferred that this information session was in person rather than on the webinar, because you would love to be interacting with people. And you may not even be on today. If you're an S, you want to know how much you're going to learn, how it's going to impact your life. You like in the chat room activities, because you don't necessarily need to be in person, but you want that interaction. So that's you if you're an S. If you're a C, you want to know the quality of the program that you're going to receive. And you probably already noticed a typo on this presentation, and hopefully that doesn't prevent you from attending this program. So that is a little bit of a kind of fun way to see what style you might be. So now we're going to launch that polling and let us know what you think you would fall into. We've got quite a few people. Give it a couple more minutes. There's quite a few of you that haven't voted, about half of you. Hopefully you haven't tuned out, or maybe you're the Ds. We'll just give it a couple more seconds if you haven't voted. All right. So it looks like we have a lot of Ds. So hopefully I'm giving you enough facts and going through this quickly enough for you. And then we have a good mix of everybody else, and some of you may be unsure, which is totally understandable. And so I encourage you to enroll in the program, and you can find out for yourself. All right, so that is what you'll learn in Kim's class. And then the final course in the management development program is the manager as team leader. This also has an assessment with it on learning styles. So it's not as comprehensive as the DISC, but Diane really uses that assessment to determine how people learn and how you can use that to build trust and relationships, and how to create alignment and view strengths of people. So she really walks you through that as the framework and how you can use that to develop your team. So Bridget's going to just recap for us.
So again, for our management development, it's a 3-day program. and that also includes lunch and your parking there at the Center Square Galleria. It's October 23rd and 30th and November 6th from 9 to 4. And the total cost is $19.50. And again, if it's groups of 3 or more, you receive a 10% group discount.
Awesome. And you can also apply the $100 coupon to this too. Okay, so that is our management development. So we're going to do another poll. Bridget's going to launch another poll for you of now that you've learned more about the supervisory skills and management development, which one do you think might be a fit for you? The series, maybe some of the individual classes, the management development program, or you're unsure, or neither? We're just going to give it a couple more seconds to allow everybody the time to launch your preference. All right, so Bridget's going to share those. Well, it looks like we're even between the supervisory and management development. Maybe a couple of you unsure, a couple of you with the supervisory. If you're unsure, we definitely want to make sure we help you. And so afterwards, feel free. I'll put the slide back up with Kenzie and my information, and you can contact us individually. So before we kind of conclude with wrapping some final details up, I just wanted to give you a sneak peek to another specialized skills program we're offering in February of 2019. So I am really excited about these specialized skills programs. I mentioned the Leading with EI and coaching. So really what I didn't say is that these programs are intended to dive deep into a set of skills that help you become a better leader in a specific area. And so the EI and coaching is kind of those two topics that really delves deeper into helping you in that area. And the specialized skills program that we're going to offer in February is conversational intelligence, strategies for effective conversations. I am so excited about this because we have heard so much feedback about how difficult it is to have effective conversations, not only in stressful situations or conflict situations or addressing performance, but sometimes just trying to get your point across, trying to articulate what it is you want to say to somebody, whether it's in a meeting or in a one-on-one. So this is really built on a model. Janet is certified in conversational intelligence. She's a coach as well. And so this is going to be a 3-day program in February. The cost will be $17.95, and same thing with the groups of 3 or more. So we're really excited about that. Well, let's kind of see if there's any questions that have come up, and then we'll wrap things up.
What is the total price for management development?
So the management development program is $19.50, and that includes the 3 programs, the 3 courses, the DISC assessment, lunch, and yeah.
Next question, what type of a certificate do we get for the programs?
Oh, great question. So when you attend the program, you get a full certificate of completion that you had completed and attended the program from UC Davis Extension. And yeah, it's a certificate of completion. If you need something provided for employer purposes, we can always do that.
Another question, can I use the $100 coupon on all 3 programs?
So you can use the $100 coupon once. So you can use it for any of the 3 programs, but you can't use it 3 times, if that makes sense. So if you want to take, well, and I'm assuming you probably wouldn't want to take all 3 programs, but the $100 coupon is valid for any of the 3 programs.
What if you cannot attend one of the classes in a series due to work?
Oh, that's a great question. So what we usually say is that You can make it up the following year, that class. We kind of put that on you to make sure you remember what class needs to be made up. The great thing is that we now have the morning and afternoon series. So if you signed it up for the morning series and you weren't able to attend the morning, you could make up just one class in the afternoon. We like to keep you in the same time slot, but you could make up one of them.
When will you offer the management development again? The fall dates are a challenge.
Yeah, so this is a program we also offer in the fall and the spring. So typically our, as we mentioned, Supervisory Skills Series 2 is in the spring with 5 different topics in April. Management Development Program is offered in around the May timeframe with these exact same topics.
Do we need to take a test in order to get the certificate?
No, these are not academic credit, and they are not, there's no tests.
Do I get professional development hours for these classes?
That we do not, we offer continuing professional education credits, but we don't, I believe, have professional development hours.
Can you make up a class for management development?
We don't encourage that because it's only 3 courses and it's a cohort program. We really prefer that you attend the entire program.
And how do you sign up?
You sign up through our website, and I will see if I can pull that up while we are talking, and because I know it can be a little challenging. So actually, I think what I'm going to do now, because I like that question a lot, is I'm going to share something else. So let me go, hold, let me stop for a moment, and I'm going to show you where we can go to do that, because I think that's really important. So just give me a minute. And I will, okay, so I am going to share now our website. So this is the website extension.ucdavis.edu. And when you go to courses and programs, business and management, you will see all of ours here, the specialized skills, the management development, and the supervisory skills. And so, for example, the specialized skills, if you wanted to take the leading with EI and coaching, here's the information. You can also see here was the information session. We also have our supervisory skills listed there as well. So when you go to courses and programs, business and management, that's where you'll find all of our leadership, management development, supervisory skills. Great. Any other questions?
Yeah, one more question. Is there an academic program including these courses you just covered with a degree?
There is not. No, we do not have, our leadership programs do not have academic credit through extension. Anything else? Okay, let me go back to our PowerPoint now. Okay, so.
Well, I want to thank you all for joining us this morning. And I will be posting a link to be able to complete an eval for today's info session. And that is where you will receive the information how to use your $100 discount.
And Bridget, you're going to post that in the chat? Is that right?
I will be posting that into the chat box.
Great. So she's going to be doing that right now. And you should be able to, if you open up the chat box, you will see that right now. She is on top of it. And we will hang on for a little bit more for any additional questions. And we really appreciate you. And actually, I said I was going to put up my information again in case you want to contact me directly or Kenzie. So sorry about the scrolling. And we appreciate Bridget being here today in Kenzie's place.
There is one other question that
Okay.
came through. Is there a program with an academic credit?
So not a leadership program through extension with academic credit. That would be something you would need to do through the university, the campus. We have academic business programs like project management or other HR, but our leadership ones do not. Bridget is fixing the link. By the way, we just got a note that you couldn't see it. We apologize for that. If you're still on, it should be there now. All right, we're gonna hang on in case there's any other questions. Great, it looks like everybody can see it now. So open that chat, take that eval, and feel free to contact us with anything else.